Welcome back to another episode of The Whole Journey. My name is Rebecca, and this is our second week of Monday Motivation. I am on, I guess it's been like one full week because week one marked like day one. But anyway, I am starting into my second week of my weight loss journey, losing my next 30 pounds. And guys, I'm going to be honest, the amount of weight this week that I've already lost is insane. But it's for a couple of different factors. So before I tell you how much weight I lost this week, I just want to let you know, this has been one of the most exciting weeks of my life. God just blew open the door on a couple of things. And because of that, I immediately was fasting and praying and was interceding and looking for clarity and having to put my hand on the mouth of my flesh. So I'm not expecting my weight loss to be as quick after this as it was this week, because I was probably eating half of the number of calories that I typically eat across 3 or 4 days. So that was a contributing factor to most of my weight loss. But yeah, when God starts moving all of a sudden, it's sometimes you just have to literally put your flesh in a box. And that's what happened this week. And I know that I've wanted to start talking about discipline, and I wanted to make an episode on discipline. So we are going to do this episode on discipline. And then I'm just got all my groceries from ALDI. So we're going to do a haul on what groceries I got, what groceries I already got, and what meals I'm going to make out of them. So stay tuned as we go into this. Let's get started. Like I said, this is called balanced living, not perfect living, okay? The only perfect one was Jesus. All right, so at the beginning of week one, I weighed in at 217 with an end goal weight of 186. So it would technically be 31 pounds. This week, as of this morning, I weighed 211 pounds. I have lost 6 pounds already in 7 days. And like I said, it was from a lot of different factors. But yeah, so what this week taught me, and what God's been talking to me about, is not being led by my feelings and not being led by my flesh, and taking discipline as something that shouldn't be shameful. And I know that we think discipline is such a dirty word. We think of people that just never have any fun and make life unenjoyable, but discipline is just doing things that you know you need to be doing when you don't want to do them. And there are so many things in our Christian walk that we look at with our eyes and we're like, oh my gosh, that is going to be the hardest thing I've ever done. I don't want to do it. And at some point, you have to choose to do it anyway. I'm one of those people that's always radically obeyed God when I've needed to. And this one area of my life, my physical health, I've been okay, I'm pretty comfortable here. I don't really want to make my life any harder in this area. I've got bigger fish to fry, kind of a thing. And then I was last week or the week before, God was no, I want that area too. Because I want you to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I want you to learn that discipline is a fruit of the Spirit because it's self-control. And so I said, okay, God, I will learn discipline. And it has been such a beautiful experience. And I was thrust into it a lot faster than I thought I was going to be, because if any of you guys have ever had something suddenly happen, you're suddenly having to pray about a job, you're suddenly having to figure out if you need to move, you're suddenly having to figure out praying for something financially to break, you're suddenly having to figure out, whatever situation, you just know that you don't have room for outside information right now. And that includes your voice and the voice of the enemy. So fasting, praying, exercising, whatever gets you hyper focused on God and staring at the Father and just telling him, okay, Father, whatever your will be done. Whatever it is, just tell me and I'll do it. I need this breakthrough now. That is where discipline comes into play. We see discipline all in the Bible. People fasting and praying and going up to high places, and multiple times we see them ripping their clothes and just grieving for days on end, waiting for them to hear God. Or God sends them in to a battle and they have to restrain themselves from fighting the battle how they want to fight the battle, and instead they have to wait for God to explain how he wants them to fight the battle. Even that with my health journey is when you see how the wall of Jericho fell. It was because God told them for 6 days one time, and on the 7th day walk around it 7 times and blow your trumpets. That was a very specific thing that God wanted them to do. Well, the very next battle when they were conquering territory, it was to take the territory of Ai, or I, or however you say it. They went forward in their flesh and did not have discipline to wait on God and figure out how they were supposed to do that, and they lost that battle. Now, when they repented and went and asked God, it was a completely different battle plan. It was a completely different battle plan on how they were supposed to take that territory. So in different areas of our lives, in things that we're needing to have discipline on, and things that we're needing to have breakthrough in, we have to go to God and say, okay, I'm listening to you. I need you to speak to me on how I'm supposed to fight this battle. And I will discipline myself not only to hear you, number one, but number two, to execute it the way that you are asking me to execute it, because you have the wisdom and knowledge to know what I'm going to need to do in order to conquer it, because it's beneficial for both us and for God, for us to hear him when he is the one telling us how to take battles. So this week, it was like fasting and praying and staying on my face. And I've never been so empty of myself by not having food in my belly, by not having sleep. I didn't sleep for 2 days. That wasn't God. I was literally just needing to stay up and pray because my spirit was so I don't want to say in distress, but I needed clarity from God so bad I could not sleep. I slept like 2.5 hours Tuesday night and 2 hours Wednesday night. And I still had to go to work those days and work on my feet for 8 hours. And by the grace of God alone, he sustained me and was able to keep speaking to me and help me to keep hearing him. So it was the most humbling experience of God was I want you to start working on discipline. Then boom, something comes up. I immediately have to discipline myself in order to hear him. And then boom, I'm immediately humbled to a point where I absolutely cannot rely on my strength at all. And I need to hear God. So evidently this was a very well-planned way to start my health journey, because God sent me straight into, I've told you guys before about God doing exposure therapy on me. I immediately this week got exposure therapy on why discipline is so important, because if I wouldn't have had discipline, if I would have just, I'll just wait for God to bring clarity, or I'll just, keep playing on my phone, or keep doing whatever I want, or keep yada, 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 I would not have had the ability to clear my flesh and listen for God. I feel like we are on the cusp of revival, and there are some of us that need to set things down so that we can move in the way that we are supposed to move in order to walk in the way that we are needing to represent Christ to others. So some of us, calling out myself still, we have got to embrace discipline. We've got to embrace discipline. It is not a dirty word. Self-control is a fruit of the Spirit. So after all of that, sorry guys, threw you on the ground. So after all of that, that was my discipline soapbox rant of the day. We're going to go inside. We're going to take my Aldi groceries. I'm going to show you guys what I bought, what I'm looking like I'm going to be doing for meals this week. And after a 6-pound weight loss in week 1, we'll see what week 2 looks like. I'm kind of pumped. So let's get into it. All right, before I get into my Aldi haul, I want to say what I already have left over from last week. I buy my sourdough bread from Aldi and I freeze it so that it makes it into a resistant starch. It's easier on your glucose and is harder to digest, so it stays in your body longer, which is better if I'm going to be eating carbohydrates. And I had leftover milk, and I also had this leftover bag of potatoes over here, which I do eat a lot of potatoes. Potatoes are really easy for me to eat. So little things like that I had left over. I had 2 packs, or actually I think I have 4 packs of chicken breasts that I got from Costco, and I defrosted 2 so that we can grill tonight, because I am going to be doing grilled chicken, flame grilled chicken for all of my meals this week. I hate handling raw chicken. I hate it so much. So if I bulk prep it, I won't freak out because I only have to touch it once. So I'm going to be grilling tonight, and that'll be a lot of fun. So let's go into my grocery items. I wanted to get things that were easy for me to eat this week, because when I'm working at the cafe, I have to eat very quickly or eat across a time period where I'm actually able to stop. Because if somebody shows up, I have to stop what I'm doing and make their drink, right? Because I'm a barista now. Super fun working at my friend's cafe for a little bit. So everything I got, I tried to get super quick. So I'm going to cube up my grilled chicken. I've got cheddar cheese cubes. And then I had my Costco breakfast sausage went bad. I don't know what happened. I like hope they'll refund me or give me a new one, but I went ahead and got the Never Any maple breakfast sausage. So this will be my breakfast sausage links for the week. They're 5 grams of protein and 50 calories each. So I'll probably have 2 of these for an extra 10 grams of protein for my breakfast this week. I also went ahead and got whole fat yogurt or whole milk, 5% fat yogurt for my dips and also for dinners if I want to do a parfait. I got these freeze-dried strawberries, which honestly I thought I had grabbed the freeze-dried apples, but I just surprised myself. I guess I got freeze-dried strawberries snack packs, 35 calories each. I got the knockoff Lara bars. I love the apple pie Lara bars, and I'm very excited about these because they're not exactly low calorie, but they are something that's easy for me to eat on the go. So I am going to shove these in my lunchbox this week for work with my cheese cubes and my cut up chicken. As for actual dinners, I'm such a girl dinner person, honestly. Like, I will literally just make like a serving of chickpea pasta. This is, I don't know if I could eat a whole cup of it, but it's 300 calories for 1 cup with 19 grams of protein. And I'll literally just put some Alfredo sauce on it. And that's my dinner. Like, girl dinner. I don't know why I am the way that I am, but sometimes I don't want to like cook a whole meal. But the cool thing is that if I chunk up my grilled chicken, I can add it to my chickpea pasta Alfredo if I really want to. On top of all of that, I got 2 of the Chobani Pumpkin Harvest Crisp Flips. I'm not really on a sweet kick right now. With everything going on, I've kind of lost my sweet tooth. But I did get these in case I just have like a hankering for something that's still got a little bit of protein. And then small group tomorrow, we're having a one last summer hurrah. So I am making cowboy caviar. So I got bell peppers and sweet onions and corn and black beans. And so I'm going to make this big, fat, giant bowl of cowboy caviar. And I am so excited. So yeah, my meals this week, literally going to be chicken Alfredo and then chicken and cheese and fruit and just like chicken sausage. So just a lot of chicken. Basically, I'm just eating a lot of chicken. And I'm still on the pistachio latte kick, which is good because it's still hitting, especially since the Monin syrups have no food dyes. So that's like really exciting. But yeah, my goal would probably be to get below 210 this week. So that would be 1 pound plus. That's my goal this week. I'm not shooting for 6 pounds again. If I'm losing weight that fast, I think that would probably be some like weird weight loss miracle from God. Because I am still eating. It's not like I'm not eating. I was just fasting certain meals and not sleeping because I was praying. But anyway, so yeah, that's what we're working with for this week. And honestly, I am joining Run Club for my town. I also have a pickleball paddle set, so I'm going to be doing that. I've been taking my dog on really long walks and still doing my Grow with Joe workouts. And my body is loving feeling less full of things. Like I feel like I just feel lighter. And so my brain's already starting to like what's going on. And I'm really excited that it's going to keep continuing, liking what's going on up until the point that I am down to my current weight loss goal of 186. Which I haven't been 186 since I was in high school, like I said. And then I wonder if at that point, if I'm going to keep losing, but we'll get there when we get there. Right now we're focusing on 30 pounds. So yeah, I can't believe it's working this well. I hope you guys are doing well. Comment below how your weight loss journey is going. If you've learned anything, if you tried any fun meals this week, if you lost any weight. I need to remember now that weight loss is not linear. Like I'm still going to fluctuate with where I am in my cycle, with what I'm eating. If I have to travel, anything like that, I just know that there's going to be some fluctuations, but the point is discipline and consistency. So it's going to be good regardless. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Monday Motivation, and I will see you Friday for Journey Fam Friday. And if you don't want to join us on Friday and you're just here for Monday Motivations, I will see you next week on the next episode of The Whole Journey.